My name is Brenda Kilhoffer. This is my submission for Equine 198, Tack Cleaning. I have organized here with me today. I have some sponges and I've got saddle soap. I also have oil for taking care of the saddle afterwards, a larger sponge, and a smaller sponge. I also have a dish here that contains baking soda that I'm going to put warm water in, and a toothbrush. The first step will be to take my bridle apart and take the saddle apart. The saddle rack's right here behind me, and we're going to go ahead and show you how I clean my tack. The bridle is apart now, and I'm going to go ahead and take the saddle apart. Obviously not super complicated there. My stirrup leathers will run up. So now we've got the saddle here all taken apart, and we can go ahead and we'll go ahead here and get started. So my first step is to take the saddle soap and a tiny bit of water, avoiding getting it too wet, and rubbing down this girth. All right, I'm gonna clean the stitching and the seams with a toothbrush to make sure that those all the dirt is out of that. Now, fortunately, here in Arizona, we don't have a lot of issues with mold when it comes to the tack, so that's not going to be something that I'm going to have to work with or deal with today. And we will get to work on this bridle and reins. All right, so here's the nose band. Again, same thing. And then, of course, the bridle has lots of stitching. Again, this bridle is fairly new, so I try to take care of it regularly so it's not in bad shape yet. Now you do want to make sure, even so, even though I don't see a lot, that I am cleaning the stitching well. You know, the sweat will break it down, and especially here on the inside where it's up against the horse's skin. You can see, you may not be able to see, but there's lots of little hairs in here that got caught, rubbed. So make sure to get all that out using the toothbrush. Nice clean fresh water. Like I said, these reins are actually brand new. Only have 2 rides on them, but because they are new, I do want to take good care of them. So go ahead and clean those off as well. Now that we've got all the steps of the bridle, all of that done with the bridle, I'm going to go ahead and clean up these a bit. Now I use bit wipes after we're done riding. Make sure that it's clean. So these are in fairly clean condition. You can see a couple little pieces of hay came out of the center of these, but with the warm water, it's already out. This didn't take a whole lot to get clean. So now that the bit is done, I'm actually going to take these stirrups and pop them right there in the same water that I used for the bits. And actually pull the pads out as well so that I can make sure that my metal is completely clean. All right, and so while those soak and all of my bridle parts are drying, I'm going to go ahead and get started on everything we need for the saddle. So we'll set that back down. I'll start with the stirrup leathers. One of the things when you are cleaning the tack is always good to inspect, make sure you don't have any cracking or drying of the leather. I'm going to clean it pretty much just like everything else. Now on the saddle, there's definitely lots of cracks and crevices that got to get this toothbrush in on. Now what we do have here in Arizona, well, we don't have all the, I don't have to worry about the mold, but boy, this dust gets in these cracks pretty good. Going to take and do these billets. Also checking, these are getting a little on the dry side. I'm going to have to get them replaced. All right, we're going to go ahead and flip this over. And this is certainly looks like we're really ready for some new water. So let me go ahead and do that real quick and I'll be right back with you. All right. Oh, there we go. We've got our nice clean saddle. Now, I'm not, you don't oil it necessarily every single time you clean it, but this is in need of oil, so I am going to oil it. But you could literally just take and buff out the using the saddle soap without being wet. Just use the saddle soap and put a nice shine, buff it out, and the saddle soap is a really nice protectant for the saddle. But because this is in need of some oiling, we are going to go ahead and do that today. All right, so I've got myself another little sponge here that I'm going to use as I oil. I'm going to go get a little dish to dip it in. So there we go. And then this is the Feebig's Leather Softener and Preserver. This one, I usually use the Neat's Foot Oil. We did get this smaller one to work with. Let's go ahead and take care of all the bridle parts first. I'm just going to put a tiny bit of oil here on that. Now you get a ton of different opinions on what to oil, what not to oil on your English saddle. You know, from just doing the bottoms here so that it can soak up in and not doing the top. One of the advantages to doing it that way is that you don't get oil all over your clothes. But then there'll be others that'll say to oil it. So I don't know the answer. But what I do know is that this saddle was definitely in need of some oil. It is soaking it up quite quickly. Same thing with billets. I've had people tell me, yes, do billets. No, don't do billets. I mean, I think the billets are something I want to preserve the best I can, because that's what holds, you know, you certainly don't want your billets drying and cracking. I said mine are ready for replacement. All right, well, given how much work that saddle needed and how dry it was, I am going to do one final step here after it dries up a little, and I am going to seal it with saddle soap. Try and seal that oil in, because it was pretty dry. And so just got to finish cleaning these. Gonna start putting everything back together now. And then I'm going to use some actual cleaner here on these stirrups to make them shine. I'm going to go ahead and start putting everything back together here. This is going to need to be wiped down. There we go. And so, of course, I want to make sure that my bit is facing the right direction. Everything looks like it's in the right place. There. So I'm here to do the last step of this. I'm just going to real quick do it and then wrap things up for you. I just put the bridle back together. I can see that I've got it all back together, and I'm going to take some saddle soap, and I am just going to take and buff and polish this saddle out with the saddle soap. That's going to seal all that oil I just put in there, and protect it some. And when I'm done that, I'll put the stirrup leathers back on, and that's how you clean your tack. So thanks for visiting with me and watching while I do this.